Good evening, everyone. People are still joining us, but I think we here in Estonia are so precise. We always begin at the sharp hour. So it's 7 o'clock here in Estonia. It's 9 a.m. Pacific time and different time zones in all over the world. But let's begin our event today. And I am Aigi Mahing. I'm one of the co-hosts today, and I welcome you all to Ingvar's new book launch event. The book is called Practical Consciousness, Freeing Yourself from Emotional Addiction to Live a More Joyous Life. And it's a fresh Amazon #1 bestseller in USA since last night, and in four different categories. So I will give the word now to my co-host, David.
Yes, so I want to just thank everybody for being here and participating in this amazing event, and also Ingvar for coming out with this book and sharing this amazing knowledge for everyone. And we're hoping that this event will herald like a new change for people, giving them the possibility to really transform their lives, not only emotionally, but through emotions in every part of their life. And you know, it's obvious that the world needs this type of solution. People struggle with their emotions, and the key is that this technology that Ingvar has brought forth can help them to do it on their own, which we think is very empowering for them. And we're hoping that. So once again, thank you for being here today. Aigi, you're muted.
And during this event today, we talk about the book, about what's in the book. Ingvar will share his vision, and he will take questions from the chat. So everybody who has any kind of questions about the book, the process, you can write those questions in the chat. Then we have a lot of great guests and also prizes. And we have two kinds of prizes. First, everybody who signed up for this event will participate at the drawing in the end of the event. And you will get a chance to win a signed copy of the book. We're going to draw 3 of those. And also all the first 50 people, I would say, who are here and who buy the book during this event on Amazon, you will get a special invitation to a thank you summer celebration event with Ingvar online, where he shares some teachings that are related to the book that you can start practicing right away. And I will put in the chat the instructions. You just where in Amazon and where to send the receipt. So first 50 people will get that also. And now let me say a few words about David. He is an author himself. He is the one who helped Ingvar along this road to find the best possible words in English to pass on his knowledge in the most understandable and laconic way. And I think he's the best person to describe the process a little bit, how this book came to be.
Thank you, Aigi. Its book has been a tremendous process, and through it, Ingvar and I collaborated to take his knowledge, and with him as the author, produce what we are hoping is something that's very clear and crystallized and absolutely available. That the idea was to have no gaps at all between you and just being able to do it. Like if you can read this, you can read English, you can make this work. This was the idea for everyone. To democratize, so to speak, this knowledge and just give these techniques for freedom out to everyone. So we went through a very long and detailed process of making sure that everything was being said in English that really aligned with Ingvar's vision, with the way that he wanted the techniques to be given in English, and his vision, and not just the vision and the ideas, but the specific details would be quite clear, so that it's actually usable, it's doable. There's no gaps. You know what to do when you read it. This was our idea. We think we we hope we've accomplished that. We believe we have. You can tell us, please, if we have. And also, I can say that through this process, I, of course, learned the technology for myself and have been applying it to my own life and can attest that it is incredibly powerful and beneficial. And so I'm very thankful to know this knowledge myself, for myself, not just to be involved in the project. So it has affected me in a huge way. So I would like to introduce now the author of the book, Ingvar Villido, who is a longtime spiritual teacher from Estonia and now spreading his vision to the world. He has a large center there and many different programs and levels of yoga that are very esoteric. But this book he's bringing forth now is something that is just for anyone. And so, Ingvar, if you would please say a few words.
Thank you, David. Welcome to everybody. Dear friends, I'm glad to see each of you here today, especially those of you who we haven't seen so long time. I hope you are doing well. So the long-made and long-awaited Practical Consciousness book in English is now ready and ready to go out into the world. It's so important to share that knowledge to the people. The process of creating this book has taken us about 2 years. 2 years is so long time. This is actually a brand new book. It's with new ideas, new knowledges. And what I can say, it is a part guide, it's a practical guide. It's for everyone, and it contains 14 different techniques. They're very practical techniques. They are written in very clear and straightforward language. Thank you for David. He's very sharp guy, you know, sharp pencil, like we say in Estonia. It was incredible work, you know, to work with him. This book is great to recommend to anyone in need, actually, which is basically anyone who wants to change and who wants to have a better and happier life. It's not so less said. It's actually quite strong promise. So, and additionally, we have also created a supportive environment for readers, and are offering further learning and growth opportunities, because this book contains only some knowledge about emotions, but we have a lot more different knowledges about thoughts, consciousness, and of course more deep knowledges from yoga side and etc. And just beginning, you know. So what's more? I think this book opens new teaching to the world and launches a more extensive process for everyone and around the globe. And I'm very happy that Practical Consciousness now goes out to the world. I thank all of you who are part of this unique process. I really hope you can enjoy with that message, to spread it, to make us better humans. Thank you. Please, Heidi.
Thank you, Ingvar. Now I will give the word to David. He is showcasing the book a little bit and the content of the book.
Thank you, Igi and Ingvar. So the book is actually on Amazon right now. And speaking of that, we are so happy that you're here. And we actually are asking everyone who hasn't already to do 3 things. If you're interested in this, and those are to, number 1, buy the book. And of course, we have this promotion about buying the book right here during the call. And also to leave a review on Amazon. Those are very helpful to the process of promoting the book. And thirdly, tell your friends about it. So this is the book. This is what it looks like. And the book is going to be available in 3 versions, which is the paperback book and the ebook or Kindle. So the paperback cost is $14.99 US. The Kindle book is $9.99. And then thirdly, it's not out yet, but it's coming later. There will be an audiobook with everything narrated of all the book that you can listen to. And so what I'd like to do now is just briefly share the screen and show you some of the contents, what is in the book. So I guess I need to make this big enough for you to see it. So the book has 3 parts. The first part is understanding your emotional situation. In other words, what is actually going on with emotions. This is coming from the yogic point of view, which is different and a different point of view than the Western psychological view of how emotions arise. What is the subtle anatomy of the human being with multiple different layers or bodies, as they're called in the East? And then the idea that there is a way to actually change. There's a path to freedom. Part 2 then has all the emotional techniques, which we have the dismissing or what used to be called the sending away technique, the freeze technique, which was formerly called the stopping technique. And then we have the technique for letting go of suppressed emotions, the one for removing background emotions. And we have a very powerful process for relieving, clearing physical pain by getting rid of the emotional pain part of it and also the pain sensation itself. And there's a lot of detail. We give every possible thing that we can to make sure that you know how to do this properly, that it will work for you. And then part 3 is going beyond emotions. We give a powerful technique to enjoy having your mind quiet rather than inner chatter. We give the technique for finding true self. And then we also present a 40-day challenge in the book where you can actually take up this challenge and for 40 days, do some of the techniques each day and see your life transform. And in addition to that, we have gone to several extra steps to make this book actually practical and real for you. So one thing is that we have a bonus pack that anyone who has the book can go to our website and download a PDF with all the illustrations in color that are in the book, and also a roadmap for that you can learn for practical consciousness, and some other information that supplement the book. So that's all free for you. And also you can download audio tracks of 6 of the techniques. So we have made audio tracks so you can actually listen to the techniques and actually do the techniques with a voice guiding you through the techniques, so you can actually use them right away, just to make it more feasible, more practical, and more doable for you. And then finally, we also provide web support. There's a URL, there's a web address in the book. So if you have any questions about the book, there's free support that our certified teachers will help you get your questions answered, make sure that you know how to do the techniques and how to make them work. So we've endeavored to try to cover all the bases so that this is highly practical for you. And having said all that, I'd like to now introduce some of our special guests. We have some people here who have interacted, connected with the book, read the book, and are willing to grace us today with their presence and say a few words about their views of the book and what it means to them. So we have 4 special guests who will speak for a minute or 2 each about this. Some of them have very busy schedules, so we're very honored that they're here. They may not be able to stay for the entire meeting because of that, but they are willing to share their views. So first of all, we will hear from Patty Levin, who is Dr. Patty Levin, who is a professional therapist who has done that for over 40 years. She is a trauma expert and very experienced in the fields of emotional health and therapy and so on. So Patty, if you could please say a few words, that would be highly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So obviously, as a psychologist, people come to me who are suffering and struggling with their emotional issues. If I hadn't already retired, Ingvar's book could have put me out of business. But seriously, we know this type of suffering is ubiquitous now more than ever. And the sad fact is most people don't have effective ways of dealing with their emotional problems, their suffering. They lack resources to make tangible progress and thus to create more clarity and space in their lives. That's what Ingvar's book has done, and I'm seeing its effects in the lives of people who use its methods, and I am incredibly impressed with the clarity and effectiveness of his techniques for creating emotional freedom. As I think Ingvar said, or at least someone else previously, the world needs this type of information right now, and rapid, effective ways for people to release their emotions on their own so they can be grounded, clear, and living in the flow of life. If people use these techniques, they are a long way towards experiencing themselves, the world, and all of life as perfectly okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Very much appreciated. Our next special guest is John Dennis Govert, who is a Tibetan Buddhist Lama and a Zen Roshi, and has decades experience in the spiritual realm as a master and teacher, and also is a published author himself. And we appreciate him being here. And John Dennis, if you would please speak to us, we would very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I was very glad to be able to read Ingvar's book because at the basis of spirituality, we talk about emotions, and in the West we think of it as sort of like a soup that you like to be marinated in, but without looking at sort of like the underlying difficulties that it also creates for you, and it also binds up your energy. And so the technique usually it is related to meditation. So if we took the 40-day challenge and said you had to meditate for 40 days in a row, and you had to meditate for 30 minutes at a time, how many people would take that challenge up? It proves to be a little bit daunting. So what is really nice about the approach is that it's in bite-sized pieces that you can deal with when that emotion arises. So, it's never going to work out like you're going to get rid of your anger all in, globally, all in a minute. It's not how it happens. And anybody who's, sat and just worked on it knows that's the case. So, to be able to have a technique where it's really sort of like a laser focused when things come up, you've got your attention, you've got these number of different techniques to apply when you recognize yourself to be in that situation. And it's the most effective to deal with it the minute that you become aware of it. That's the time to not to suppress it, but to release it. In the minute that you release it, then it's possible for the next thing to come up that you might not have seen otherwise. And so even though it seems like a chain of endless work, the chain is already under there, the chain of emotions that's connected from one to one to one to one, and it's causing people to move in a particular way. So each time you undo one of the links, you're having more freedom really is opening up to you. And the other thing I would say is it's not just the freedom that opens up. Really, there is some amount of energy that is also released because we bind up some psychic and body energy, chi, prana, it gets bound up in these emotions. And so it is important in the entire spiritual journey to undo those bindings and create a larger pool of this energy so that you can focus it with really the underlying power of your own awareness. And so I do recommend this book. It's really great because it gives you something that you can do inside of meditation, outside of meditation, on a bus, wherever, wherever you're at, you can use it whenever something arises. So thank you, Ingvar.
Thank you so much, Master Goldberg. We really appreciate you being here and speaking to us. And our next special guest is Donna Meyer, who is an attorney and has personally experienced she has read the book and experienced it in her life, and she'd like to share some things about what it has meant to her. So Donna, please.
Thank you. What I'd like to say is that I love the book for the reasons that people are mentioning. The techniques for emotional freedom are so practical and so doable. And what I found in my life, I had spent many, many years working to drop emotional baggage. And I think I was successful to some degree, but I still had emotional reactions, even if they were subtle. And then there would be lingering physical sensations that would kind of sit here in my solar plexus. And I didn't know where to go with that. I couldn't figure it out. And what I learned from this book is I didn't need to figure it out, that emotions are energies and there are related physical sensations. And the techniques in this book are very easy and they are aimed directly at that. So not at the figuring mind and not at some unresolved old story. So the cool thing is that they work, at least for me. I've been working with these for a few months and I have many, many fewer emotions and consequently fewer physical reactions that are unpleasant. And the releasing still happens, but it's become so natural and familiar to me now, using it repeatedly, that it's kind of like it happens in the background and it feels like it's before any reaction even maps. I feel lighter. I feel freer. I would say I feel substantially unburdened. So, as you might guess, I recommend this book. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna. And we have yet another special guest. It's Rosa Maria Callas, who's joining us from Lebanon. And she is an emotional intelligence trainer, as well as has many other expertises and certifications. And we're very pleased that she's here. And Rosa Maria, please speak to us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, David, and thank you, Ingvar, for putting forth this book. It is truly an invitation and a path for emotional freedom. So as you mentioned, I'm an emotional intelligence and an emotional management trainer. And quite honestly, I've always felt there was something missing in all the techniques that I have learned. As Ingwar puts it in the book, we see emotions as something we have to deal with. And this is basically what I have learned. Not as energies we have the power to change and heal. This is exactly what I have experienced through this book. So I would love to share with you and the audience something that happened with me while I was actually reading the book. So when I was reading the book, I received a message on my phone. So I looked at the message and it triggered me. So it stirred up anger in me. So usually what I do is I question the emotion, try to figure out what it is, what message it holds, try to trace it back to its origin and deal with it and all that. And what I decided to do instead was actually to practice the technique shared directly on the spot. So I closed my eyes and I scanned through my axis and I did the dismissing technique. So after a few seconds, I didn't quite notice anything and I continued reading through the pages. And then I started questioning, like, can something this powerful be this simple? Does this actually really works? And my mind being what it is, and my personality as well, I took the phone to check if the technique actually worked. So I took the phone and I opened the message and I read the message again. And I was surprised that suddenly the message was just words. It wasn't a message. There was no judgment. There was no accusation, which previously has triggered me. They were just words. Now, I really wanted to see if it works again. So I tried to stir up anger in myself intentionally. Like I was like, get angry. Like this is supposed to make you angry. And I tried to bring it back and it just wasn't there anymore. So words were just letters. And I would love to share with everyone here that in this moment, I have experienced a sort of space or a kind of dissociation that has a beautiful sense of clarity, where one can actually act and not react. This is what I would like to share. And my thanks, of course, goes out to Ingwar, David, Aigi, of course, the whole team for putting forth this kind of revolution in the way we have been viewing emotions recently and with everything that's been happening all around. I would simply say this book is simple yet wise. It's straightforward yet graceful. It is gentle yet powerful. And I would recommend everyone to get the book and experience the power it holds. Thank you, David. And thank you, Ingwar.
Thank you, Rosemaria and John Dennis and Donna. Aigi?
Thank you, everybody who just spoke and shared their experience. Let me introduce you now our next guest. It's Gunter Pauli, and he was kind enough to be one of the really early readers of the advanced copy of the book. He is an author, entrepreneur, he's an innovator. He spends a lot of time traveling the world, finding ways how to make world better in an innovative ways. He's maybe his most known book is The Blue Economy. And but in the light of all of that, he likes to call himself just a friend and admirer. So please welcome Gunter Pauli.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Aigi. It's very kind, and I'm glad that I'm not the only one wearing these headsets, so I can better concentrate. Ingvar, congratulations. Ingvar, congratulations. I have written 27 books, and every book is like having a new baby. We forget that there's so much energy going into a book, and there's so much focus required and so much of yourself, Ingvar, that I know you put into the book. This book is you. This is a mirror of you. So I listen to what many people have so wisely contributed, but I'm really seeing the book as, if you want to know Ingvar, you read the book, and then you know Ingvar. And I think this is very important. And I am going to take a different angle than most of the people. How come I appreciate the book? Not because I'm an expert on the subject or that I'm an expert in emotional intelligence or in anger controls, etc. It's because I've been very privileged to come to Lilleörre and to actually be in the village where Ingvar has been able to demonstrate and to show how you can live together in peace without anger. That doesn't mean without conflict. The absence of conflict is very dangerous, because otherwise you don't have your personality. You're all just slaves of one idea. Conflict is good, but what I really appreciate is the sense of peace that you have at Lilleörre. And of course, that is very much your creation, Ingvar. And so having been able to come to Lilleörre several times, spend days with your friends, your community, and also the extended community of teachers and parents interested in really creating a better future for their children. Even if you are not very visible, Ingvar, but you're always there. You're always there because there's somewhat of a framework. I'm not saying a spirit. There's somewhat of a framework of Ingvar that is always there. And people not only respect you and admire you like I so much appreciate you, but people have a very deep sense of community for the better. And, you know, in order to be better, you have to let the worst of you go. You have to let it go. Otherwise, you can't be a better person. And what I enjoyed by being privileged to be asked to read this book at first is that you put it into very simple words. You know, I always say that an author who wants to be considered very important sometimes is tempted to write very complex books. And then, of course, very few people know what it's all about, and therefore you're very important, very intelligent. Your book is the total opposite, Ingvar. It is and I must congratulate your editor, because I know this English is better than your English, if I can say, because what has the editor done with your vision, with your life experience? The editor has written it and edited down to what is needed and not what should be said. Because I can very well imagine, and having had discussions, Ingvar, with you for hours and hours, we always have to have the term simplicity and conciseness. Because if it's simple and concise, then you can really inspire the people. If it's complex and very difficult, then it is not an inspiration. Then you have elevated yourself above everyone else, and you don't do that, Ingvar. And so that you and your editors, I mean, have done a remarkable job in translating your wonderful concept methodologies and ideas to translate into something where I'm not a witness of the methodology, I'm a witness of the community, where so many people in the community have applied your methodology to the best of their abilities. So that's why I recommend the book, not just for those who want to have a personal journey, which is important, but I recommend the book to the people who want to create a community where you have harmony with healthy conflicts, always bringing you to better levels of joint understanding and action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gunter, for your really nice words and really great vision for this book. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Gunter. That was profound, actually. And we really appreciate your presence and sharing. And I would like to now introduce the man who is a published author, has written several books, including The End to Upside Down Thinking and other books. And he wrote the foreword to this book, and his name is Mark Gober. He's present with us today, which we highly appreciate. And he is going to actually interview Ingvar for a bit now. And then we'll have an interchange where Mark will draw out some of the ideas and Ingvar will share, from his heart about why the book came about and his vision for it and so on. So Mark and Ingvar, please take the floor.
Okay. Well, David, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you all for joining today. I would also like to congratulate you, Ingvar, on this amazing accomplishment. I've been using your methods as well, and having studied many different spiritual traditions, I think you've done an amazing job of simplifying so many important principles and making them practical, like so many people have said. So I have a few questions here for you. We have just a short amount of time, and depending on how much time we have, I might ask a few more. But first, if you could tell everyone why you decided to write this book after so many years of teaching.
Thank you for a good question. This is actually a result of my intensive 30 years of research. I realized that emotions are humankind's most significant issue. Not thinking, but emotions is most important. This is the reason why I wrote a book on emotional addiction, to share it, because I can't say to the people, you know, to teach them to do some good things for them. I need to share somehow, and book is best way to do that, because people do not have the solutions to this problem. That's why I wanted to help people, to give them tools to reduce suffering, to that everyone can live a more joyful life. It's so important today.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that point, because going to your sessions in person is very powerful, but by writing the book, now people can do it in their own homes. So very valuable. If you had to summarize the purpose of the book, what would you say it is?
You know, as you all know, there is much emotional tensions in everyday life. It's actually everywhere, in your family life, at the workplace, on the governmental level, between the countries, and so on. It's actually, you can find those tensions everywhere, between children and, I don't know, it's actually everywhere. It's like not COVID, it's maybe emovid from word emotions, maybe something like that. And people truly need to know how to help themselves. It's so important. And it's time to share this with the world, right? I wrote this book as a manual. It's manual you can use to free yourself. So, and it actually shows way, that there is way out.
So there are many books out there about managing emotions, both from the psychological lens, from a spiritual lens, and so forth. What is unique about your book relative to many of the others?
You know, my background is Kriya Yoga. It's, my opinion, it's deepest knowledge what actually exists, the Siddha tradition, and this book contains groundbreaking knowledge that is available now for everyone. It's actually connected to my roots, to my personal development, and the techniques in the book they contain are simple and easy to do. And when do them, you get immediate results. It's very simple. Just take it, use it, and you have results. And I have been teaching practical conscious classes for more than 1 decade, and I had a lot of feedback from participants, and this method works. And actually, it was hidden before. I'm not taught it publicly before. Then one student asked, maybe you can teach those knowledges publicly, and that starts approximately 2 decades ago. That's that point.
Now, how would you say that the methods in the book specifically can help people change their lives, and in what ways is it practical?
You know, I myself very practical, like with engineer mind, and I always teach people the same way. And this book is practical guides to each one. It's containing 14 highly effective techniques for transformation. It's not so much or so less, if depends. Maybe it's too much, because sometimes people don't share this knowledge in the book, maybe 1 or 2 knowledges, but we decide to put more here because, like I said, I have a lot of different incredible knowledges, and maybe in future we can share those knowledges too. But in this book, actually, we show you exactly what to do and how to do it to be free of these very big emotions. It's very precise. And these are not theories and philosophies. There are specific and clear methods for change, for you to change, right?
So you've alluded to this, but I'd like to know how would you describe your vision for this book and also for the world generally? You've been teaching for a long time, and how do you see this book fitting into your vision?
You know, the book opens up new teaching to the world. That's definitely, because it's not there. It's not out, it's new. And I think it launches a more extensive process of profound changes in individuals, because the society actually are from humans, right? And my mission is to help each person overcome negativity and adversity and advance in their lives, to show people how to use awareness to achieve freedom, simplicity, truth, and satisfaction. Today, we all see increasing consumption, conflicts, anger, and depression. It's actually growing, always growing. And if we don't solve our emotional problems, we risk destroying not only ourselves, but and the rest of the world too. So I believe humans can develop greater positivity and emerge from our self-oblivion. It's so spread. Therefore, I want to show humanity how to use awareness to make the world better. It's so important about awareness. For example, a progressive, well-balanced society, how we can make it a really true changes, which can happen with us before with individuals, and a way of life where we use awareness to guide ourselves and direct our lives and inner worlds, what we have inside. It's I think you know about what I'm talking. So, and a person who brings their natural intelligence, benevolence, and initiative to the forefront, I call human 2.0, upgraded humans. It's not so, maybe not so humanic, more like IT, but we all know what it means. And this transformation occurs when you choose to live to your fullest potential. It's incredible, actually. And I'm here to help you with that. That's it.
I have one more question for you, Ingvar. You've worked with many students, you've refined the methods. What would your advice be to those who really want to implement your methods, but let's say they're having difficulty for some reason? How do you help people get the most out of the methods?
Actually, you know me more, right? You are going through different courses and you're initiated about Kriya Yoga. What do you think about it?
Well, that's in my own experience. The hardest part is to almost become like a third party and take the step and the time and the energy to observe our emotions, because we can get stuck in them, is what I find, and we don't even realize that they're there. So when we step outside of ourselves and can observe them, then at least when I try to implement your methods, it works much better. The challenge for me is when I don't even realize that they're there. So one of the things that I appreciate most about your book and what you're teaching is that you're encouraging people to be very self-aware, which can be difficult in today's world. We can almost become like robots because we're conditioned to do the same things and we've lived life a certain way. And what you're asking people to do is to step back. And for me, that's been incredibly valuable.
You know, I don't think we have a very simple technique. I call it prolong your noticing. It's actually a simple technique through which one you can become aware. And you can stabilize yourself with awareness. Because, you know, sometimes I'm dividing us, humans, like to the two parts. Maybe it's not so nice said, but one is automized part. It looks like more animalistic, which one just a reactional part. But second part are you, true self. It's actually written on the book. It's very unique knowledge about true self, who you are. And if you look in consciousness, consciousness doesn't belong to the reactional part. It actually belongs to the true self. And if you can recognize who you are, it's written on the book how to do that, then you can find, oh, my primary tool is consciousness. Wow. And if you find it out, you become immediately a citizen of now, here and now. You become citizen of present. You're not involved to the automatical processes, which one making your past, your future, you know, that's some kind of illusion about reality. You become more objective. Yeah, but we are so used to be reactional. It means we have deep habit to do that. And to become conscious person, we need to develop forgetted ability to be conscious person. Because if you look in children, you will see they are aware. They are aware, but we are taught to be not ourselves anymore. We're taught to be somebody different or else. That's the main problem, actually. Why we have those problems today with humankind and individuality too. We need to learn new way to be humans, real humans, more humans than we know today.
Thank you very much for that, Ingvar. I think those are helpful insights into specifically the ways in which this book will help people transform. And again, I want to thank you for writing the book and for inviting me to be a part of this.
Thank you, Mark. It's a big honor for me. You know, we are here. I know you from the US, and I'm very glad to others too who spoke here. It's so nice to hear. You know, if you are involved like me to those processes, I even don't know it's something incredible, something unusual or maybe fantastic. You know, for me, it's like common life. I live that life, like Guter said. Yeah, that's my life, and just sharing my life, my knowledge with others to make them better too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. David, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you very much, Mark and Ingvar. It's very insightful, highly appreciated. And thank you for Ingvar for sharing, you know, from the heart, what you really feel about this book. And next is Igi. She has some awesome things to share with us.
You know, actually, I think, should we go to questions? Because we have had some great questions pouring in. And I was thinking that, can we do the question part now?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Absolutely. Let's do that. So during this time, many people have put in the chat questions for Ingvar. So I will now ask Ingvar some of those questions at this time. He can share his answers to those. So the first one here, Ingvar, which I think is a really important one, is who are you hoping will actually be the reader of this book?
You know, every person around the globe needs to read that book because it's manual, you know. It's it opens up you, how you look to yourself. It's I call it like personal experience. In this book, describe your personal experience, which one unknown by you. It's that's the reason why it's so simple, and that's the reason why you can understand that content of the book and use it. It's not scientific book, it's practical book of you, and you can share that book to each of people, humans, you know, because this is book about them, nothing more. There is not that book doesn't have any strange ideas. It's so practical. There are not some mystics, nothing. That book is about unknown you, guys. That's actually all our problems happens because we don't know about us. We don't know that part is missing. And that book actually fits that empty place. That's the reason why, please guys, just share it to the others.
Thank you so much. So Ingvar, someone is asking, actually a few people have asked, what is your favorite part or chapter of the book?
Thank you, David, for a question, but you know, maybe it's not so well said, but I'm quite long time out of likes and dislikes. Yeah, I'm more based on myself, true self, and I'm still discovering what really happens in more deep our individual universe, because like I said before, I mentioned I belong to the Siddha tradition, and Siddha tradition have saying about us humans, about purpose, why we are here. And first is find who you are. That's your first purpose. Find true self, and actually not only mentioned in the book, it's guided, even by voice guided. That's only one audio guide, which one are read by my voice. It means I read it. It was so difficult for me, but it's done, right? But the second purpose is to make research about what really going on. What is that life around us, inside us? It's like you become scientist. That is Siddha tradition, very old, thousands of years old. First, find who you are, true self, then start to discover where you are, what are life, what are all those things, and you become wise. And that book is one small part of that practical wiseness.
Excellent. So obviously, we have a huge number of people here from Estonia, and so people are wondering, Ingvar, is the book going to be available in Estonian language?
Actually, we thought about that, and yeah, we try to do that. We need to find very good translator who can really translate in same manner, like done in English. It's that tone of voice. It's very, very special. Yeah, we're still looking around to find that kind of person. Yeah, we tried many of them, 5 maybe, but maybe more coming, And but I'm glad to say, that book already, I don't know how far it is, but it's become translated to the Spanish, and then to the German, and even Russia, and to the other languages too.
Awesome. So we have one more question from the group, which is about like who it's applicable for age-wise. So the person is wondering, will this book help teenage people, or will like parents who are or older folks who 60, 70, and so on, will they be able to understand and use the techniques from the book as well?
Basically, if you're looking problems or issues or tasks or difficulties of humans, you will see they are not mental problems. They're always emotional problems. And if you're looking at teenagers or maybe more younger people, you can see middle-aged people or old ones. You see they are always emotional, negatively emotional. It means all of them need that book. They need guidance, because why they need to suffer? Are they young or middle-aged or old ones? They don't need to do that. And that's a great book, great practical guide how to become more free of negativities. It's like a mathematical logic's working here, you know. Just release negative emotions, then you can make more space for positive emotions. I'm right? So that's why we call it to live more joyful life. Right? It's for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Ingvar. And, you know, I can say just in my own experience how that this is so absolutely true. Like I verified this for myself because, you know, as somebody experienced in the field of human growth and as a life coach myself, I encounter many people who tried so many things, but mostly what they tried is to fix their thoughts. And still their emotions are completely bothering them all the time. And they still haven't. And when they have the negative emotions, they try to fix it with more positive thoughts. And of course, it's not working. Why they still have the problem. So to be able to really address this problem right where it is on the emotional level is just absolutely mind-boggling how effective it is and how much freedom it can bring to people, and very quickly too. People don't have to do this for decades for it to work. It works right now.
Can I add it a bit? You know, like I said, I taught practical consciousness 12 years or something, you know, and thousands of people are going through those courses. And I think oldest was 80 plus something. That lady came to the courses and she said, before I die, I need to learn how to release emotions, which are not connected to the past life, you know. And youngest is 18. We don't allow to come more younger people to the courses. They need to be 18 plus, right? But we have program for students, normal children, and they actually learn how to release emotions in school. In our school, we have school here. And it's incredible, actually, how they can solve those problems which one are connected to the childhood. And, you know, they're very lucky because they can start so early. They can dramatically change this life in the future to the much more better. Thank you.
Thank you, Ingvar. I'm going to pass it to Aigi in a second. And I just also want to thank many people who are here in this meetup right now, actually participated in the process of creating the book by reading it early versions and giving us detailed feedback and focus groups and providing editorial suggestions and comments. So we want to thank all those people, which would really helped us a lot. So thank you for all of you participating in that. It was extremely valuable. So now I will hand it back to Aigi. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you also everybody who have purchased the book during this event and have sent your receipts. I will contact you shortly about the summer event that is waiting ahead of us. But now I have here Lairi, who is our lucky lady tonight, and she's going to help us draw the three winners of the signed copy of Ingvar's paperback book that will be shipped to you at the soonest. And there are a lot of people here that the luck chooses from, and let's see who is the first winner. Okay, Milja Heljola. You are the first lucky winner. Congratulations. Then second person is, oh my God, it's me. Sorry, guys, it's not even possible. I never win anything. So please, next one. I have already worn out copy of the book, of the proof copy. Then, oh, it is Claudia Angel Wagner. Claudia Angel Wagner is the second winner. And the third winner is, oh my God, it's the lady sitting next to me. We work together. It's, Oh, okay, no, sorry, it's other Küllike. It's Küllike Kergens. It's Küllike Kergens. They have similar names. I already thought that all the office people who win the book, sorry, it's not planted. Anyway, winners are Vilja, Claudia, and Küllike. So I will contact you also and send the book to you in May. Thank you. And thank you, Lairi, for being this very lucky lady. Luck-bringing lady. So we are closely starting to approach near the end. I think it's about to say the final words. Ingvar, do you want to begin?
Yes, thank you for all of you guys. It's was incredible hour. Yeah, it was so much said good things, and it's really become big. Yeah. And I hope we can help our lives much more better. Yeah, and thank you for organizing and writing and whatever kind of difficulties was here. And you know, thank you for all. Thank you for all. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Ingvar, thank you. I think everybody here is thanking you. And I want to also say thank you to our special guests who took time out of their extremely busy schedules and days to be here, including Patty and Don Master Govert, Donna, Rosa Maria, Gunter, thank you for being here and speaking, and Mark, who wrote the foreword to this book. Thank you all for participating and adding your wisdom and words and presence. Mainly your presence is, of course, incredibly valuable. So thank you. And I just want to repeat that we are asking those of you that really want to get involved, 3 simple things. Of course, we're hoping that you will buy the book. And secondly, to leave a review on Amazon. And thirdly, tell your friends about this book. And we're hoping that we can create like a viral sensation where everybody starts to, you know, pass it from friend to friend and really getting this knowledge spread to as many people as possible. That was the whole idea behind this event, is not only to share with you why we're doing it, but that you can start telling other people as well. So we're really looking to you to help out with that. Thank you for being here, everyone. And Heidi, do you have a final thing you would like to say as well?
Great gratitude from me as well to everybody participating, all the guests that you were able to come, Ingvar for writing this book, everybody who has helped out, and everybody who spoke and who are already reading the book or giving this book as a gift to people. I just also want to let you know that this event here, our meeting, will be available on replay. So very soon we hope to send it out to everybody. And right now I'm using the time to also greet those who are not here participating live, but who will watch this through replay later. Great greetings to you as well. And I hope you enjoy this meeting as much as we have enjoyed it. And this is only beginning. I hope to see you all soon at some other related events, and I hope we can use all these practices, make ourselves better, and this world that is in dire need right now for a change will get a chance to heal also. Thank you.
And Aigi, we didn't say the most important thing of all, which is not just get the book and not just read the book, but please use the techniques for yourself. That's really the most important thing of all, is to use this to change your life. So this is really the most vital thing. Please, everyone who is interested, do that. And we will all transform together, and the world will become better for us inside of ourselves, for our family and our home, and also throughout the world. And that's our vision, and we're going for it. So please join us. Thank you.